previous video, that was about call center interview questions and answers, the common ones. But now, this is just one question, but there are a lot of reasons. And it is... Hey there Ninja, welcome back to my channel. This is Rhea once again, and you're still watching Call Center Ninja. In this channel, we talk about call center tips and call center lifestyle survival. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Just click the red subscribe button below. If you have already subscribed, then thank you so much. Why did you leave your last job or your previous job? And for a lot of you, this is a deal breaker because your interviewer or the company would want to know why you left or why you resigned or maybe why you quit your previous job or company. And you have to be very, very careful with your answers because it might cost you your job and you might get fired even before you get hired. I'm not sure if that even makes sense, but you get the drift. Obviously, if you're a fresh graduate or if you're an undergraduate, then this is not applicable to you because you don't have previous work experience. If you have a related work experience, even though it's not in the call center, then this video is for you. And the best answer really is depending on why you left your job. The first reason is you were laid off. In this case, you don't really have to worry because it's not your fault that the company downsized or had to cut costs. You really just have to be honest with your interviewer and craft your answer in a way that you're convincing them that you are telling the truth. You just have to explain to them properly that it is not about your performance or anything bad that you did when you were still in that company. So this is the sample answer that I have. The last job I had lost a major investment and client, so they downsized due to cost and budget issues. Unfortunately, being part of the newer batches of employees, I had to be laid off even though I had good performance. My direct supervisor or manager can attest to my work ethics and is willing to be a character reference when needed. Period. In this kind of question, you really just have to be straight to the point and avoid flowery words or statements because you might just say something that should not be said, right? Second reason, looking for better salary or benefits. This is my sample answer. When I did my research, I found out that your company offers great compensation package and benefits. And for me, that is important because I plan to support my siblings' education until they graduate from college. I'm the breadwinner of the family. My parents are not working anymore because they are already old and sickly. And I took the liberty of working to send my siblings to school, and there are many things I have to take care of in terms of finances. Rest assured that I value my job and I don't just work to get paid. I work and deliver a satisfactory performance because I understand that the great compensation and benefits your company provides deserve all the effort from my end. So if you notice, I did not really say because my previous company had very low compensation or anything like that. You have to remember that the first rule of answering this question is to never badmouth your previous company. Now, even though your previous company really had low compensation and benefits, you don't have to mention that. Just by looking at the positive side of things and using positive language, you're able to craft an answer that gives your interviewer the idea why you left your previous job. And that is because, based on your research, your company, you're telling the interviewer that this recent company offers a more significant or beneficial compensation and benefits package to you. There's always a better way to explain the salary issue without being too tacky about it, or that doesn't sound like you are call center hopping and you're just on the hunt for the biggest salary that anybody can provide you. I'm actually filming this at 2 a.m. So you might probably hear some disco music. I don't know. And then, third reason, you hated your boss, your team, your job, or your company, or you just don't want to stay in that company anymore because you don't want it there. I understand that. Again, no bad mouthing. So this is my sample answer. My last job taught me so much, and I can say that I actually learned lifelong lessons. However, I really wanted to explore more opportunities, so I decided to leave because I wanted to pursue working in the BPO or call center industry. I know a couple of friends who work in a call center, and until now, they still enjoy working and they have already adjusted to their lifestyle. I've really been interested in working in the industry and I plan to stay long because although I'm very much aware that the job can be stressful, I also like that there's always fun in the workplace, like team eating or team outings. I finally decided that this is where I want to be after my last job because I know that there are a lot of opportunities waiting for me. So did you hear me say I hated my boss or I hated my teammates or I hated the work environment? I never said anything like that. So no bad mouthing because your interviewer will probably think that you're gonna do that in every interview that you will go to. And in addition, you are being positive here. So even though it's true that you really hated your boss or your teammates, you do not have to say that. There's always a better way to explain it positively without lying. You know, you're not lying. You're just leaving off the bad part, if that makes sense. This is probably the hardest to explain. You were fired. How will you explain that? So, insider tip. It is very hard to justify this reason, so you have to be very careful in explaining this. And the most challenging part because a lot of people who were fired have either probably have done something wrong in terms of behavior and probably about the performance, right? And so they might not have met the standards of the company. That's why they were let go and they were fired. So the best way to go about this question is just to be direct and honest and try to craft an answer that sounds like you are going to do your best so that that previous thing, that reason you were fired, is not going to happen again or not going to happen anymore. Now, don't even try to lie about it because your employer has a way to know. And even though they don't really actually try to find out why you were fired, it's just better safe than be sorry. You would want to be remembered as the applicant who told the truth rather than the applicant who lied your way to success. Okay. So, state the reason why you were fired, and if it's really negative, then we will try to make it sound positive. So, in the end, the important thing is you tell your interviewer the course of action, what you are going to do in the future or currently, so that that thing, that previous reason will not happen anymore. Or you don't repeat the same mistake, right? People make mistakes, but it's difficult to acknowledge if you keep repeating the same mistakes. So here is my sample answer. Now this is not really something that happened to me, and this is also something that may not be applicable to you based on your scenario or your experience, but try to craft something like this. Okay? Sample answer. My mother got sick during the last few months and there was no one to take care of her at home. I had to stay up late at night all the time to make sure she gets the care she needed and for her to take her medicines on time. Because I'd always sleep very late and I did not get enough sleep on a daily basis, I was always sleepy and dozing off at work, that it affected my performance, and my manager noticed that it's been recurring, so she decided to let me go. I understand that my manager was just doing her job and that I had shortcomings, but I never intended to deliberately sleep at work and let it affect my performance. Now that I'm applying for a new job, I understand my responsibilities. I have already asked another relative to look after my mother while I'm working and while I'm getting my much needed sleep. So you see what I did there? I highlighted the reason that my performance was going downhill, and it's not just because I was slacking or I was not really committed to the job, but there is a deeper reason to that, and I hope that's also the same for you. And that's because I really needed someone to take care of my mother, for example, and that was why I was sleepy at dozing off at work. And then at the end, I mentioned that I already have someone, like a relative, to take care of my mother when I am going to work or when I'm off to work in case I get accepted for this job. So there's a course of action, like what will you do so that that will not happen again in the future. So at least your interviewer knows. And for sure, the interviewer will appreciate your honesty. So to continue, you can also add this. You can rest assured that it's not my behavior to sleep at work. Now I'm even more motivated to do a better job and to make sure I get regularized with good performance so that I can support my mother in buying her maintenance medicines. I will make sure to get enough rest all the time so as not to risk my job. I've learned from that experience and I've learned to take care of my job because it's also the very thing that will help me take care of my mother's financial needs. So in that last part, you are telling the interviewer that you need a job because you are supporting your mother and you cannot afford to lose this job. And you can't afford to just leave and, jump to another company right away. So that's about it for today. I hope I have helped you in crafting some of your answers as to this question, like why do you want to leave your job? So again, just remember to be direct, concise, and honest, and never badmouth your previous company. If you like this video, please like, subscribe if you haven't yet. And remember, I have videos every week. It's usually Wednesdays and Fridays. So thank you so much again for watching. See you again next time. Take care and bye-bye. And good luck on your application.